Why do Python classes inherit object? Why does the following class declaration inherit from object?
Is there any reason for a class declaration to inherit from object? In Python 3, apart from compatibility between Python 2 and 3, no reason. In Python 2, many reasons. Python 2.x story. In Python 2.x, from 2.2 onwards, there's two styles of classes depending on the presence or absence of object as a base class. Classic style classes, they don't have object as a base class. New style classes, they have, directly or indirectly, e.g. inherit from a built-in type, object as a base class. Without a doubt, when writing a class you'll always want to go for new style classes. The perks of doing so are numerous, to list some of them. Support for descriptors. Specifically, the following constructs are made possible with descriptors. Class method, a method that receives the class as an implicit argument instead of the instance. Static method, a method that does not receive the implicit argument self as a first argument. Properties with property, create functions for managing the getting, setting and deleting of an attribute, _slots_, saves memory consumptions of a class and also results in faster attribute access. Of course, it does impose limitations. The _new_ static method lets you customize how new class instances are created. Method resolution order, MRO, in what order the base classes of a class will be searched when trying to resolve which method to call. Related to MRO, supercalls. Also see, super considered super. If you don't inherit from object, forget these. A more exhaustive description of the previous bullet points along with other perks of new style classes can be found here. One of the downsides of new style classes is that the class itself is more memory demanding. Unless you're creating many class objects, though, I doubt this would be an issue and it's a negative sinking in a sea of positives. Python 3.x story. In Python 3, things are simplified. Only new style classes exist, referred to plainly as classes, so, the only difference in adding object is requiring you to type in 8 more characters. This is completely equivalent, apart from their name smile to this. And to this. All have object in their underscore bases underscore. So, what should you do? In Python 2, always inherit from object explicitly. Get the perks. In Python 3, inherit from object if you are writing code that tries to be Python agnostic. That is, it needs to work both in Python 2 and in Python 3. Otherwise don't. It really makes no difference since Python inserts it for you behind the scenes.
Python 3. Class myClassObject column equals new style class. Class myClass column equals new style class implicitly inherits from object. Python 2. Class myClassObject column equals new style class. Class myClass column equals old style class. Explanation. When defining base classes in Python 3.x, you're allowed to drop the object from the definition. However, this can open the door for a seriously hard to crack problem. Python introduced new style classes back in Python 2.2, and by now old style classes are really quite old. Discussion of old-style classes is buried in the 2.x docs, and non-existent in the 3.x docs. The problem is, the syntax for old-style classes in Python 2.x is the same as the alternative syntax for new-style classes in Python 3.x. Python 2.x is still very widely used, for example GAY, Web2Py, and AnyCode, or Coda. Unwittingly bringing 3.x style class definitions into 2.x code is going to end up with some seriously outdated base objects. And because old-style classes aren't on anyone's radar, they likely won't know what hit them. So just spell it out the long way and save some 2.x developer the tears.
Yes, this is a new style object. It was a feature introduced in Python 2.2. New style objects have a different object model to classic objects, and some things won't work properly with old style objects, for instance, super, at property and descriptors. See this article for a good description of what a new style class is. So link for a description of the differences. What is the difference between old style and new style classes in Python?
History from Learn Python the Hard Way. Python's original rendition of a class was broken in many serious ways. By the time this fault was recognized, it was already too late, and they had to support it. In order to fix the problem, they needed some new class style so that the old classes would keep working, but you can use the new, more correct version. They decided that they would use a word object, lowercase, to be the class that you inherit from to make a class. It is confusing, but a class inherits from the class named object to make a class, but it's not an object really, it's a class, but don't forget to inherit from object. Also, just to let you know what the difference between new style classes and old style classes is, it's that new style classes always inherit from object class or from another class that inherited from object. Another example is, while an old style base class looks like this, and an old-style child class looks like this. You can see that an old-style base class doesn't inherit from any other class. However, old-style classes can, of course, inherit from one another. Inheriting from object guarantees that certain functionality is available in every Python class. New style classes were introduced in Python 2.2.